Hello everyone, my name is Conrad on behalf of Camera Stuff. Hope you're doing splendidly well. Today in the Limelight, we are joined by photographer Innocent. Hello Innocent, how are you doing today?
I'm great, and how are you doing?
I'm perfectly fine, thank you. All right, so we're going to do some questions today. We're also going to show you some of Innocent's work. So if you have any questions to ask, please do drop that in the comments section. All right, so we're just going to wait for more people to join, then we can get started. But just as a reminder, if you're tuning in, please do ask your questions as well. All right, so just to show you what Innocent is capable of, I'm just going to show you a whole bunch of pictures. Let me just get that slideshow going. Yeah, so awesome images, all here created by Innocent. So if you have any questions to ask, please do make sure to drop that in the comments section. And also, if you are joining us, please do tell us where you're from. Introduce yourself. Let's have a good idea as to who's watching. We are happy for you to join us. All right, so Innocent, I have a bunch of questions to ask you. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, awesome. That's the spirit, so let's do it. So Innocent, please do tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, as you said, I'm innocent. Well, a lot of people don't believe I'm innocent, by the way, but yeah. I'm a Soweto-based photographer.
I
I'm
like
a
that very
Soweto-based
much.
photographer. Yeah. So I currently reside in Soweto. And it's been 4 years since I've been doing photography, and I must say it's been a beautiful journey. I learn new things every day, and yeah. Other than that, I'm just a simple guy that loves watching cartoons all day. And I have time.
Yeah, cartoons are great. What's your favorite cartoon?
At the moment, it's The Amazing World of Gumball.
Yeah, my fiance loves that as well. All right,
Right,
so
it's
in
nice.
regards to your, it's very cool. In regards to your photographic journey, what got you going? How did you get started with it?
So, it's actually through a friend, because during our high school time, he was taking pictures with his phone. I was always so interested in what he was doing, and I was so like, dude, what are you doing? Let me see. And he showed me the pictures he was taking, and I was like, oh, this is nice. Can I try? And that's when I tried going there. I was so curious about the whole thing, though, and then I started going on YouTube. I learned about cameras, and I was like, okay, cool, this is something great. I bought myself a camera, which is I still use today, and people don't believe I still use that camera. It's a D3100, a Nikon, and people don't believe I use that camera. So yeah, that's how it started, and till today.
I've seen that a few times in our Godox group. People will ask you what gear you've used, and as soon as you say D3100, people are kind of taken aback by that. But yeah, it just shows you it's the talent behind the camera, not the camera itself.
Exactly.
Now, you already mentioned the D3100. Is that what you started with? And what else have you added to your kit over time?
So I currently in lighting, I have the Godox AD100. I have two MS100s, and I've recently started using a Canon M50, but that's a friend's camera. But it's actually a great camera, so that's the gear that I use most of the time.
All right, so in terms of studio or on location, is it 50-50, or do you find yourself in studio more often or outdoors more often?
I actually find myself in studio more often. I enjoy controlling the light instead of outdoors. Yeah, so I control the lights however I want to indoors, so I prefer that.
That's the same here. Just love that control in a studio environment where everything is at your fingertips and you can control everything very, very precisely. Yeah, so I'm on board with that as well. All right, so just to have a couple of comments here. All right, so if you recognize any of these names, do say hello.
Yeah, shout out, man. Shout out, man. Shout out. Thanks for watching, bro.
Same here.
Yeah. Oh, so BIS is actually our studio name, right?
Is it? Okay. All right, so BIS.
Yeah, okay. But it's our living room studio.
Oh, that's fine. You know, the makeshift studios are awesome. All right, so here
Yeah.
as
Oh,
well.
hey,
Uh,
Martin.
Innocent, very proud of you. Remember the
Mm,
first time you were using your phone, friend. Keep up the great work. And here from
thank you so
Kinlan
much,
also
man.
saying, also started out with a Nikon. Thanks for joining, Kinlan.
Yeah.
And here I'm very proud of you. And Kinlan saying,
Thank you
just to
so
clarify, this is
much.
the
Oh, yeah, yeah,
G3000
yeah.
Fire dance emoticons. And been a fan since day one. Shout out to you. All right, so very, very
Thank you
friendly
so
words
much.
coming in.
Right. Yeah.
So that's a
Thank
nice
you
pat
so
on the
much.
back to get us going. All right, so how about some more so technical questions? How would you describe a good portrait?
Um, for me, a good portrait would be a picture that someone immediately, wants to tell a story about it.
Hmm.
Something that evokes emotion, and a lot of people could explain it in different ways. That's what I like. And for me, a good portrait for my style, I like adding creativity to it, like these props there and there to make it more interesting.
Mhm.
And I love color in my portraits. Love
Okay.
so much color. Yeah,
Speaking of
that's a
which,
good
I
portrait.
think we're gonna. Speaking of which, I think we're gonna go through some of your images, and you're gonna give us a bit of a rundown as to how you created the images, what gear you used, etc., etc. So let me just get that comment away.
All right.
Okay, so here is image number one. So you want to give us a bit of a rundown?
Yes. So this is Princess. She actually we shot before this photo shoot actually, and she knew that I'm a creative person, and she trusted me with this work. And then she's like, "Yo, I want to do this." She came to me with the idea. I'm like, "Okay, cool, let's do it." This was shot in a park in Randburg. Then we found
All
this
right.
nice greenery, and then she was wearing all the green dress, and she had some artificial ears on, like for that elf look. And then I had to blend them in Photoshop and yeah, man, it was a great shoot. She came up with the idea, and I loved it at first sight.
I was about to ask about the ears, whether or not that was Photoshop or something real, but it's a combination between the two. So some clever work being done there. Some great depth of fields, awesome bokeh there in the background. What lens did you use?
What lens did I use? This was yeah, I used the Canon M50. It was
Uh-huh.
paired with the 50M lens on a
Hmm.
FTZ mount, of course. Yeah, that's what I used.
Also, also love
And
the
the
colors
lighting
here.
was, yeah, the lighting was Godox 8100, just one light.
Okay, awesome. All right. So
Yeah.
in terms of the makeup, I quite like the makeup here. Was this your idea, or did you allow the model to approach you with her ideas? And how do you go about managing that as a photographer? Combining, your creative skills with other people.
Yeah. So in terms of makeup, she actually just rocked up like that. Like, oh wow, this is
Nice.
this is great. Yeah. So in terms of makeup and everything, I just let the models decide what looks good and feels comfortable, but sometimes I give the idea, and then they just follow the idea with the type of makeup they apply on whatever arts they do on their face.
All right, that's a very good answer. All right, so let's do. Oh, I love this image. This is. Well, I have many favorites from you, to be, to be very honest with you, but this is one of the favorites. All right,
Yeah,
so how
yeah.
did you go about creating this image? Was this in studio trickery or were you on location?
No, this was in studio actually.
Nice.
Yeah, I just didn't like the background. It was a red background, and I was like, no, that's too much red there. So I just like, let me add some background, and I just went to the net and surfed and surfed. So I also wanted to make it look more home, more like backyard studios type of vibe.
Mm.
So I took the Soweto towers, and I was like, oh no, this is nice. And then all those Kit Kats are on a string, so I just removed that. And yeah, that model is Zayda. She actually has been wanting to shoot, and then I was like, okay, I have this idea. I don't know how it's gonna go, but hey, let's do it. I just bought a bunch of Kit Kats and we just shot. I didn't actually know how this is how it's gonna end up. Just bought them and say let's shoot. So we'll see what happens. Then this is the
Now,
results.
those are often the good ones where you don't know what's going to happen on a day. So when a model just pitches up with suitcases of clothing and whatnot, to just throw different combinations together and see what happens. And as I said, those are often the good ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just to confirm, it was just a normal red backdrop, and you just keyed in the say with the towels, as you said. What editing software do you use?
I use Photoshop, and I do the finishing touches on Lightroom. So yeah, for colors.
All right. So how long did it take you to learn how to do this backdrop editing?
It took some time, but you know, YouTube, you can never go wrong. There's a lot you can learn.
Yes.
Yeah.
YouTube is a great source of all of this information. Yeah, I just love everything about this. The Kit Kats here in the air as well. So I assume a red gel from the side as well.
The what?
A red gel coming in from the side as a rim light.
Yeah. It was used there.
All right, awesome, clever stuff. All right, let's try the next image. Also another favorite. Yes, I said I have many favorites from you. All right, so tell us about this one.
All right, so this is Tandeka. So we shot again before, and then she trusted me with this idea as well. She saw some pictures and she was like, dude, can we try something like this? And I was like, yeah, let's do this. So the sticks in the front, I was pouring them down, and the rest is edited in. And here on the plaster, we wanted it to be again backyard studios type of vibes. So we just wrote DOS, which is a slang language for fire or matches. So that's what we did. And color gels there, the bag. And this is what we got. I just loved the first shoot that we did. And then I couldn't mind doing the other shoots. We have a couple of shoots actually together. Just need to drop them. But yeah, she's a great model and she made everything easy because she's just natural.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's great to have those models to work with. So just confirm, so on the day you threw the matchsticks around, or was that superimposed into Photoshop later?
So the ones in front that are blurred out, I was just throwing them from the camera down. And then the ones at the back, I just edited them in because there was just a bunch of matchsticks that I had in the background. I just didn't like them eventually, and then I had to crop them out and add something else that had motion, everything. So yeah, this picture is a whole lot different from the unedited one. I did a lot, yeah.
Yeah, of course, yeah, nothing wrong with that. It's an awesome picture combining some very clever work done here. Okay, let's see it. Oh, I think this one's my favorite. I keep on saying that, but yes, I pick up a lot. I resonate with this one. Do tell us more about this.
So this one, firstly, it was inspired by a photographer called Stephen Obi. He had something similar. I'm not sure if you do remember. I've seen it before.
Yes.
And yeah, I did mine in Studio 2, and I just had like two. I wanted to make it look different, so I had two backdrops which I combined together, which was black and white. But it just didn't work out for me. And I was like, let me look at changing the background. And yeah, this one took me quite a while because this was my first time like removing a background and editing. And it took me a while, and I had to do a lot of YouTubing and but I got it, and this is what I got. And unfortunately, he didn't see it, but yeah, this was inspired by Stephen Obi. I just love the shoot that he had with the similar. They actually look more similar. They have similar features, the hair, the face structure, and everything. So I was like, let's do this again. This is printers again, but so yeah, just love the whole idea.
Now, Stephen was my previous interview. I'll let him know to have a look at this. Now, I remember the picture that you probably took inspiration from. But yeah, it's very Quentin Tarantino. I love the color work here. Yeah, I think I'll let Stephen know that you drew inspiration from his work.
Yeah.
All right,
I
awesome.
hope he
Yeah, so
calls
I
me.
said very Quentin Tarantino. I love the colors here, the reds and the blues. So do you want to give us a bit of an indication as to what your setup looked like, in terms of where the lights were, what you used, so we can
All
kind
right.
of visualize what the studio setup looked like.
All right. So this was a 3-light setup. I had a blue gel on the side, just almost on the back. So as you can see there by the neck and there by the shoulder, there's some blue gel. And then from the hair side, which is almost from front, I had a red gel, which was from the top
Mm-hmm.
actually, because I wanted it to be, separating from the black backdrop as well. So
Yes.
some colors were going to be nice. And then I had key lights, which was in front as well, just to, light up the subject and so that she's not too dark. So yeah, that's what I did. So it was a 3-light setup, 2 MS300 and the 8100, of course. And this was shot with the Nikon D100. With the iPad
That
of the
was
35M lens.
There was some clever
So
work
yeah,
done with the red gel to separate the hair from the backdrop. So the hair light, I think, is very underrated. So if you're
yeah,
listening, try out the hair light every now and then. A hair light being just a light that you add, just to add a splash of light just around the top of the head area, just to create that separation. It is incredibly
and it
helpful. It
makes
does
a
serve
huge
a very
difference.
practical purpose. No, I should say it
Yeah.
just creates that extra spark. It just adds in something very different.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, some very clever work done here. Okay, so tell us about this one.
Mm. This one, this one is my favorite, my personal favorite, by the way.
Oh, okay. Tell us why.
So she posted. So I was so proud of this picture after the editing. I was like, wow, because I was at a point where, you know, I was not happy with the picture that I take anymore.
Mm,
And then this picture just brought everything back. Like, you know what? No, you're good at this, bro. Just keep on doing it. So the red lights behind, of course, I added because of the red hair. This was unplanned
hmm
actually. So she just came through. She wanted a normal photo shoot. So I was like, okay, cool. I'm a creative person, so let me try to add some creativity. And what's nice without lights? So I just added some red light there, black backdrop, some key lights on there, and this is 2 light setup actually. So there was the one at the back and the one in front. And then and there was a red gel. And then she loved this picture. She's actually a musician, so she was so in love with this picture. That's one thing that made me so extra happy as well.
Yeah, definitely. As photographers, we just need that one photo just to reinvigorate us again, just to provide that energy again. And every now and then you do get that down periods, but you need to keep your head in the game because an image like this is going to come across and it's just going to provide that fire again. Yeah, so that's very
Yeah, this
aspirational.
actually did. Yep, did that.
All right, so tell us about this one.
This one is actually also unplanned. um, so how this one happened? This is Karabo. She's also a high school friend. I've been seeing like pictures on Facebook. I was like, we could create some nice pictures. So I texted her and then she responded. But after a while, hey, I've been waiting for a response. And then finally she came through and then we were just shooting studio. There was no idea. This grapefruit was just in the house. And then I was like, what can I do with this grapefruit? And then I just took it, cut it, and then I was like, let me just throw it in the air. Let's see what's gonna happen. And then I just put some strings around it, and then that's what happened. The backdrop is actually white, so that's in editing. That kind of looks a bit blue
Mm,
and greenish. So that was editing. And then I just loved her skin. Sure, she's dark. So I just loved her skin. I find editing dark skinned people so easy, and it's fun because there's so much story. There's so much, I don't know how to put it, but hey, I just love dark people when it comes to pictures. And this is unplanned again, so it was just come, let's shoot, let's see what we get, and this is what we got.
Now, a couple of things I want to point out here. It was a good choice to make the background for cyan color because the complementary colors work fantastically well here, the orange in the hands. Was there a reflector placed beneath the model's eyeline to provide that fill-in light? Because I do see that in the catch slides.
Yes, there was actually. There was. Just one reflector there.
That's a good choice because it just adds that spark in the eyes, but extra catch slides. Very good choices all around.
Yeah, I actually love that too, eh? Now that I think about it, it looks awesome.
Yes, all those little sparkles in the eyes, it just adds so much life and soul to the person. Now, you mentioned about what makes a good portrait, and I like to call it the 3 E's: eyes, eyes, eyes. The eyes are so incredibly important.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, so tell us about this one.
This one, it's also a friend of mine from high school. Actually, shoot a lot of high school friends, eh?
Good. Why not?
Yeah. So I actually texted him too, because I've been looking at his Instagram profiles, like, oh, this guy just has that thing about him. So I just called him, and we also didn't plan this. So most of my shoots aren't planned. So we just went to the streets, we started shooting. So he's a guy that likes something that has to do with the hood, everything, business around. We just have a couple of photos around vegetables and street vendors and everything, just that did not post them yet. But yeah, that was the vibe and everything. So I just love this picture out of all the pictures that we had, and then I just had to post this one. And yeah, this was also unplanned. This is the Godox AD100 one light, also shot with the Nikon D3100, paired with the 35M. And yeah, this is edited only on Photoshop because the lighting was already so nice. So it was just golden, and then I just boosted the gold and everything.
That's incredible. I love it. All right, so kind of going to go to our next batch of questions here. So the questions here relate to all of these images that I've asked you, right? So first question I want to ask is, how do you go about planning or conceptualizing a photo shoot? So starting from where, how do you get everything together? How do you get the ideas in your head and manifest that in real life? So how do you go about planning a photo shoot from point A to B?
Okay. I would say most of the time, like I have these photographers that I follow, and like I fall in love with their work. So I just spend most of my time on Pinterest. That's one big thing that I do. It's Pinterest. There's a whole lot of ideas there, and then I just like trying things out. So I just see that idea. I'm like, okay, cool. So who can do this? If I don't have someone and I just come across a model on Instagram, I just text them, say, hey, I believe you can try something like this. What do you think? And if you game, and then they come do the shoot. So that's how I go about. I don't plan most of the time, eh? It just happens. Like, I saw her and I remember that idea, like, okay, cool. So here's an idea, let's do it. When are you free? And that's how everything happens.
Okay. So you just bring together what is necessary, and on the day you just allow things to go with the flow.
To just unfold, yeah.
Okay, I love it. I think sometimes when you plan too carefully, plan too precisely, put a lot of stress on yourself. I think every now and then, should I say, you just need to let things unfold by themselves.
Yeah, because I think planning just puts a whole lot of stress, and you want things to go the way you plan them, and they don't, and now you don't know what to do. Just go with the flow.
Now, there are
Yeah.
so many factors and variables, sometimes you need to allow the model to do, kind of manifest themselves and project themselves onto the image as well. So you can't be too strict with your planning. Everything needs to combine, and you kind of need to allow those, little leeways every now and then. Yeah, so I'm definitely on board with that.
Yeah.
Next question. How do you get yourself in the quote unquote zone? In other words, how do you get the best out of yourself?
Music. Listen to music. That's
Of
something
course.
that I always do. I never shoot without music. I can't. I cannot. So music helps. It calms me down because shooting is it's nerve-wracking sometimes because when you shoot you expect something to go like this, especially when it's a client. And then they expect something to go like that, and it doesn't go like that. So music calms me down, it brings me back to the zone. You're like, no, you can do this. You don't have to rush it. Take time. That's why I always advise like my models, can you come on time so that we can have a few trial and error pictures and see how we can, improve from there if there needs to be any improvement. So music, be on time. Let's do this.
All right, so I love those answers. We got some people confirming the same. Planning for a shoot is just stressing yourself out there. Yeah, so friendly agreeing with us here.
Yeah.
All right, so got a question from the audience. Please do advise, how much do you charge for your services?
She'll hit me up in the DMs. Please do that.
I like that. All right, so
All I
next
know is
question
I'm not
from.
expensive.
Oh, sorry, just repeat. Sorry, when fuzzy bit.
I'm saying all I know is I'm not expensive, but just hit me up in the DMs. We'll talk about it.
All right, so in terms of planning a pricing structure, I think maybe that's related to the question. So do you have like flexible payments or what you charge? What normally do you offer as a service? How many images do you give out? How long do you spend with a client? Is it all flexible? Do you have like a pricing structure, or is it just bespoke to the client?
No, I actually don't take, because I believe having time, and I like taking time when I'm shooting. I have all the time. I need all the time that I can do it. And client, I ask them, how long do you want to do the shoot? And then if they want to do it for a specific period of time, I do tell them that please do come early so that we can have as much time as possible. Because I don't know, I don't plan my time, and I don't have a specific, per hour I charge this and that. Just come, let's shoot. I have a specific price for specific amounts of pictures, but I don't have a specific time for me to shoot. We can take the whole day if I don't have anything to do. As long as I'm going to get the results that we both are happy with, then that's great. Yeah.
Yeah, it's exactly
So
the same from my side.
Yeah.
Now, personally, I don't do per hour shoots. It's half a day or a full day, because precisely as you said, I can't finish in an hour. Like, there's always something extra to do, and I prefer getting the results and making sure that both myself and the clients are both happy. So to condense everything in an hour or just 30 minutes, even worse, no, that's not a thing for me.
It's so stressful, hey?
Yes. It's often the images an hour or two into a photo shoot tend to be the best, because then everybody's comfortable, they're in the flow, they're nice and relaxed. Initially, people are a little bit anxious and stressed out. So that's just one of the reasons I don't do the per hour charge. But that's just me.
I totally agree. Yeah, totally agree with that.
Next question. So how do you get yourself in a zone? How do you get your models in a zone? So in terms of posing, making them feel comfortable, getting natural poses. So how do you communicate with the models?
All right. I'm actually quiet in studio, eh? I'm very quiet in studio. But I have a friend of mine. Yeah, that guy is so funny. He would make a model so comfortable. They don't want to leave anymore. So yeah. His name is Mtunzi. He was just commenting now.
Oh, okay.
That he's always, yeah. Whenever I shoot, I always have him around, just to kind of direct there and there. And also, before we do shoots, I actually do have an idea, and we kind of also do have time for Pinterest. And I do also allow the client or the model to, have input in the pictures, so that we are both comfortable with everything that we're doing. So yeah, I have my friend there to entertain the models, talk to them. He knows the poses. He has the vision of how can he. I just know how to capture it and make it look nice.
That's nice to have the wingman. This being the wingman, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same here. I'm very introverted, very quiet. So I had to learn over a vast period of time how to, communicate properly and whatnot, to direct, be more upfront with what I want. Yeah, it's a process. Now we all fall into, learning new stuff. Yeah, so in terms of directing models in one time, it was very difficult for me in the beginning as well, but it's something that becomes second nature to you eventually. But having the wingman, that's helpful.
Yeah, it is. It's really helpful. You get to learn some tips from him whenever he's not around. Then you can absorb what he said and you can use that.
Yeah, great stuff. And again, from the wingman, which established photographer would you like to collaborate with?
I would say Stephen Obi. Yeah.
All right.
Definitely him. That will be also K Paparazzi. Those two. Yeah, I'd really love to work with those two so much.
All right, great stuff. Now we did an interview with Stephen before, so if you want to catch that interview, to those watching, that's available on YouTube as well. Got some more questions here, more statements. I think a bit of a cheeky one here. Why aren't you mentioning the green stuff? So I think that in terms of feeling relaxed on a day. So the green stuff we're talking about, cabbage and broccoli, probably, right?
Probably, yes.
Probably, yes. We'll just call it cabbage and broccoli. All right. Let's continue from my side. Where do you see yourself in 10 years' time?
Oh man, I see myself traveling the world, shooting, meeting different people. Also I see myself having to own our first studio, which is Backyard Studios. A big studio. That's what I see. I want to fit a car in the studio. Anyway, that's where I see myself in 10 years, and traveling the world, learning more about photography, because I still believe I have a lot to learn. So I would like to learn more, meet new people, travel the world, mostly shoot in different locations, in different provinces. Yeah.
Now, from my side, and I'm certain from everybody watching, we wish you the best in luck in achieving that.
Thank you so much.
Right, next question. What's the best and worst photographic advice you've ever been given?
The best, I would say, it was actually mentioned it. It's Stephen Obi again. I feel like I'm mentioning him a lot. But yeah, he said he said trust the process, and that actually I related with that so much, because I could see the process. Like I can see the difference from a photographer that I was a year ago. Like there's a big difference, so that I can see the process is actually happening. And then the worst advice that I've been given is the equipment you use matters. Doesn't matter. Person that uses the equipment matters.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Now, some good advice and some bad advice there. So in terms of gear, I think yourself is a very good example. I think in South Africa people are very gear obsessed, but as yourself has proven with the Nikon D3100, more than capable of taking stunning images, and the proof is in the pudding here.
Yep, that's one thing that I believe in.
So, absolutely. So, some more questions here. Maybe from Arnold here. Please inspire us with a hint on the price per number of pictures. So I think we kind of covered this already. So we don't really do, X price for X pictures. We just kind of allow things to flow on a day. Obviously, you need to quote beforehand, so you may have a base structure. Let's say half a day, X number of pictures. So it's not as strict or as finely defined as price per picture. But I don't know. I don't know if you have anything else to say there.
I think you covered everything on that, actually.
All right, from Wingman Mutunzi here. We need to see your work on billboards. So we all pray from our side, and everybody in the comments, that's gonna happen.
Yeah, definitely. We're on our way there, actually, right?
Yes, good spirits. All right, from Armstrong Julie, I'm definitely coming for that photo shoot. Okay, so it seems like you've arranged the photo shoot.
Bro. Come through, bro.
Can't wait to see that happen. Let's see if there's something I missed here. No. All right, so let's carry on with the questions here.
Right.
What is on your photography dream list? So places, people, events, etc., should I say, that you want to shoot and reasons why?
I'd like to shoot in there's this place, man. It's actually not too fancy, hey? But I've just been afraid of going there. But what's this? The I've seen the mine dump thing. You see that desert type of vibe that it looks like a desert. I always wanted to shoot there, but hey, man, the news that come at that place, they're not so nice. And then I'm not a big fan of event photography, because I don't even know what to capture when it comes to events, because I believe in events you need to capture something meaningful, and I can't just shoot and then client is not happy with the pictures. So I'm not too big on events photos. And yeah, people that I would love to shoot, I really love to shoot Barbie Cooper. I hope she's listening and she's gonna come through. I'd really love to shoot Barbie Cooper.
All right, I hope so as well.
Yeah.
All right, so last photographic question. All right, so if you're still with us in the comment section, please do ask your questions. So those still watching, please do ask your questions. This is my last photographic question. So what advice would you give new photographers?
Just be curious, always ask yourself, how is a picture taken? If you have to talk to the person, try to talk to the person and shoot as much as you can. I believe also trust in the process, because hey, the pictures that I used to take before, they're not so pleasing when I look at them now, but hey, they made me happy at that time. So just love what you do, and you'll see miracles happen. Just keep practicing every day whenever you get a chance to.
I think that is something you can put on a t-shirt. That was excellent advice. Thank you so much. All right, so now we're going to enter what we call our snapshot round. So these questions are not photography related, just some random questions, just for the sake of fun, I suppose. But if people are still watching, we still have a good group of people watching. Please do drop your questions in the comment section, and we'll tackle them after we finish all of these crazy questions. So if you could have any superpower, what would it be?
The power of flights. The power of flights.
Flights, okay. Any particular reason why?
Yeah, traffic is too stressful, hey?
I was expecting some profound reason, but no, you just want to get over traffic. I like that so much.
Yep, just want to avoid the traffic.
Yeah, I always thought of myself having Magneto powers from the X-Men, and probably for the same reason as well. I just want to move cars like Moses planted everything. I just want to get the car stuff. Yeah. So that's a good answer. Yes. What would be your choice for a movie marathon night?
Cause I'm a cartoon guy. It's actually gonna be full of cartoon. Favorites would be, I would watch back to back Despicable Me. everything. What's that? I love me some Groot. And what else? I have some couple of anime that I love. Your series though, Naruto,
Mm-hmm.
your One Piece. I really enjoy those. But yeah, I think a lot of people are gonna be bored here with my movie marathon because it's gonna be just cartoons. But they're funny though. It's
That's
just fun and
fine. I have
enjoyable.
no problem with that answer whatsoever. I think that's a very good answer. We probably met Lissetti, the guy working at camera stuff. He's also very much into his anime, so I think you guys have something to talk about.
Yeah, we even think we have superpowers sometimes.
Nice one. All right, so the zombie apocalypse is coming. Which three people do you want on your team, and reasons why?
Definitely my sister taking her with me. Who else? Any three people.
Can be fictional as well.
Definitely. All right, cool. I'm definitely taking Bobby Cooper as well, and Superman. Who's gonna protect us?
A very good answer. I mean, why not? All right, so that's our
Yeah.
snapshot questions done. So let's see if we can catch up with some audience questions.
Mhm.
How do you balance work and photography? This coming from Tato.
Yeah. That's a very hard one, hey? But I find time, I make it work. It has to work. But most of the time at work, but whenever I get time, I am always doing photography. Weekends are dedicated to photography. During the weeks late are dedicated to photography. So during the days work and during the nights is photography. So yeah.
I like that answer. It just has to work, and so it needs to work. I like that answer. All right, now very very pointed that. All right, so next question from Wingman again. What's the ideal gear that you always feel like you need?
The one that I want right now, I would love to get myself my hands on the Nikon Z5. I'd really love to use that camera to have a feel on how it works and how I could, produce beautiful pictures with it. And then in terms of lighting, I wouldn't mind the Godox 8300 actually. Yeah, those two for now, they would make me very happy.
All right, so next question. The 8300's very, very good. When did you realize you wanted to do photography? This from Armstrong Natuli.
That was actually after school, actually, during like high school days after school. It was actually 1 year, just before we were about to finish school. And then, yeah, I did that, taught myself how to shoot pictures, taught myself how to edit. I was also always afraid of Photoshop. I saw so many things on Photoshop. I was like, what's this? What's that? I was so used to phone apps. You just put on filters there and then you make it work. Yeah, so yeah, it was roughly just after school, just when we were about to finish school.
All right, so I don't see any other questions, but yeah, very good answers. So everybody watching, if you still have your questions to ask, we're going to do, I think, 1 or 2 more minutes. Then we're going to say good night from our side. But just, I'm just going to allow it an extra moment or two. But in the meantime, check out the earlier comments dropped by Camera Stuff. So that would be Innocent's social media pages, in particular Facebook and Instagram. So please do follow Innocent. The links are provided in the comment section. Yeah, so just hunt for them. They're somewhere in the comment section. We've had so many comments today. I do appreciate everybody getting involved. All right, so more questions. Love it. What was the very first thing you shoot or shot?
Shots. I think it was a tree. I don't even remember.
Yeah.
I think it was a tree. Yeah.
I think Now that you mention it, was probably a tree from my side as well. Because I was into graphic
Yeah,
design and I took photos of random things like trees and rocks and dirt and stuff.
you
So
know,
my camera was always pointing at non-people at the time, but eventually I got into the people photography side of things.
just a bunch of things you can
So
see and shoot.
yes, of course, yeah, it's
You
good
know,
practice. You know the tree's not going to complain afterwards.
yeah.
All right. So, Innocent, I think that's going to be it from our side. So, a good 46 minutes. That just went by very quickly. From our side, thank you for the inspiration. It's
Mhm.
been an awesome chat with you. I myself, I'm very inspired by your work. And from our
Thank
side,
you
we
so much.
wish you continue for a very long time. We wish you all the success, as certain as the people watching this, even those not joining. Oh, by the way, this will be on YouTube afterwards, so it will be there for always. So even if you have missed, the first couple of minutes or so, it will be available on
Yeah.
YouTube, so you can catch up afterwards. But just to carry on, thank you for the inspiration. Um, we notice it's very awesome work, and we wish you all the luck in future as well.
Yeah, and thank you guys for having me. I really had fun. Thank you
It's a
so
big
much.
pleasure. Thank you. So
Yeah.
I think that's going to be it from our side. So from myself, Conrad, and Innocent, thank you for joining, and we bid you a very good night. Thank you again for joining and ending broadcast.